Also, I saw this. I thought this was kind of cool. I wanted to kind of share it. So Jinxie, he's like one of the most popular streamers right now. And everybody always likes to talk about how, oh, well, the people that are popular are just popular because they got lucky. And look at this. In September 2019, he streamed to one viewer 29 times. Now he's one of the top subscribed people on Twitch. Isn't that nuts? To himself. Yep, he keeps grinding anyway. He kept grinding anyway, and that's what happens. He's entertaining. Yeah, he was. Absolutely. But I figured I'd show you guys that because there's a lot of people that don't really ever respect the grind. They don't ever respect the amount of effort and time that you have to put into something in order to make it successful. They just see the end result, and they're mad because it's not them. That's it. 29 streams are a straight year. Well, no, 29 streams in September of 2019. You have to just read it, right? That's it. How long did it take you? With my videos and everything? How long did it take me to get popular? Well, like, if you're talking about on... He streamed to one viewer for a year straight. Oh, okay. Yeah, for a year straight. Yeah. It just only shows September, so that's what I was talking about. In my first year of streaming, I think that I either got to, was it 20,000 subscribers or 10,000? And that was doing YouTube videos. Or sorry, that was just making WoW YouTube videos. And then streaming, honestly... Well, like, whenever I started streaming, my YouTube channel was already pretty popular. And so the first stream that I ever did, I had like 250 viewers. And then the second stream, I had 1,000. And so it did really well, really fast. And then, like, probably 2 or 3 months after that, we were getting like 5,000 to 9,000 viewers. And so it was a lot. Now, why did that happen? I mean, obviously, I did a lot of YouTube videos before then. I streamed really late at night. Nobody else was on. And also, I thought the streams were pretty good. And so that's it. How'd you have 250 viewers in your first stream? Simple. I just made a YouTube video. I told people I was going to do a stream. And I said, tune in. That's it. Yeah, do you remember your first oh shit paycheck? I remember screenshotting my bank account balance when it was over $1,000. And then I immediately spent all the money on a new computer. Yeah, I remember that. Today you can't only do Twitch. Well, I never only did Twitch because I thought that was a mistake. How many subs did you have on YouTube whenever you started streaming again? Like 10,000. Like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, maybe 20. Like probably 10 to 20,000, somewhere around there. You also caught the rise of the streaming wave? No, I don't really think so. I remember whenever I first started streaming, a lot of the people were saying then that they wish they had started streaming in 2011 and 2012 because they felt like they missed the wave. I remember that was like a very common sentiment because there were people like Lyric and Summit and Soda Poppin' that everybody felt like was like grandfathered into, being successful, and no people felt like, oh well we can't get there anymore. But the truth is that you can be successful. Anybody can be successful. It doesn't matter what time you start. You just have to put in the effort and be popular. Or not be popular, obviously that's circular. Be entertaining. Would you advise people to do the same? Start making videos on YouTube, then go to Twitch? Yeah, I think that the best way to make it successful on Twitch, to be successful on Twitch, is to use other platforms to grow your Twitch, and then kind of use that as a springboard. That's what I would say. And be entertaining, get 10 million tips. Well, I mean, hopefully, right? Survivorship bias. Well, everybody always says survivorship bias. You're right. But who do you want to take advice from? You want to take advice from somebody who survived or somebody who didn't? Like, think about it like that. A lot of times people see like the last, going from 8 to 10, but they don't see going from 1 to 7. And so it's always good to see that, people that, like Jinxie, for example, he just started streaming randomly and, streamed consistently every day. And you grind for long enough and you're entertaining and people like what you're doing. And it'll work. It's that simple. Did you ever collab with you for a month? I would like my character, 20k followers in a month, but yeah, you have to grind all platforms. If I would collab with you for a month and people would like my character, I'd have 20k followers in less than a month. This is always a massive delusion that people that don't understand how content works have. They think that if somebody else hosts them or brings them on their stream, that somehow this is what they need in order to be successful. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It doesn't matter if you're not entertaining. And that's just the way it is. Lazy, shitty streamers. Well, it's also people just like they see it from that perspective because they don't really understand it. He was massively, DM is a great example. He was massively grinding before he watched his video. Yeah, Darth Microtransaction is a great example. Like, I remember watching his videos, and he was established even in Diablo Immortal. What happened to Jacksepticeye, but he was also already entertaining. There are people that gain a popularity by streaming and making content with other people. But I think that somebody like Jacksepticeye would have been popular regardless. This just made it happen faster. Nothing will matter if the person isn't entertaining. And if people don't like watching their content, that's all that is the beginning and the end. I think some people don't understand that being genuine goes a long way. Being genuine is such a bad idea. Don't be genuine. If your genuine self is boring and unlikable, then don't be genuine. Don't do that. Be entertaining. Be likable. Be yourself unless yourself sucks. Then be somebody else. That's right. Do you consider yourself likable? And also dislikable.
Irritated with the fact that other people that you know say it. And that's what irritates you. And then you bring it up to me. So don't say you're not irritated with it. Whether you say it or someone else does. When I first started streaming, I grinded like crazy. I was at home and that's all I did. And I'm glad I did because I needed to grind out the hours, but I'm finally in a spot with my streaming career where I can let up a little bit. And I'm tired.
This is always a mistake. You never let up. If you want to let up, then don't be surprised when other people let up. Like, let me show you guys. Never stop going big dick. We'll look at the at this channel and also my alt channel. I never stopped. Until I stopped streaming on this account, I was putting in the same hours, more hours, whenever I was successful. 2022, the last time that I streamed very regularly, look at that, 200 hours streamed, 145 hours streamed, 193, 209, 178. You go all the way back to 2019, 154, 227. That was classic WoW. 93. This is all the way back in 2027. And now, look at now. Still putting in the same 194, 213, 208. You go, you look at the videos. YouTube videos, the exact same thing. Like, I'm uploading more, doing more stuff. You never stop. You never stop grinding. And if you do, if you stop grinding, because there are people that do, and they don't stream as much anymore. And you know what? They're probably not as popular. And you know what? That's probably okay with them. Because they have now moved on to other things in their life, and they have a different focus in their life than being successful as a streamer. That doesn't mean that they didn't fall off. They got off.
Of every day getting on stream and I'm tired of every day getting on stream and people like nagging on me about it. And it's not enough, or I'm not playing with the right people at the right times or anything.
I switched my laundry over.
Nice.
That's right.
It is hard. You guys look up to me. There's people that depend on me, and I just like...
You gotta depend on yourself. What do you think about other people for? You gotta depend on yourself. I know it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to stream every day. It is. It's hard to put yourself in a camera all the time. I tried to get on by 9, but I was so tired. Yeah, there have been a lot of times streamers have to stream 4 hours a week. Yeah. And this is also another problem. Is like, you're never going to convince somebody that streaming is a hard job. Now, like, I'll tell you this. I totally understand how this girl feels. Absolutely. I've streamed for a long time. It is fucking hard. It's extremely emotionally demanding. It is draining. There are a lot of things with streaming that absolutely fucks you. There are problems that it has that are like, when do you ever deal with this problem? Like, you're getting, like, people are trying to find out where you live, SWAT you, like, all kinds of weird fucking shit, try to, like, penetrate into your personal life. These are things that you don't have at a normal job. Like, it's not. Try working customer service. Yeah, no, I'm not. Listen, guys, I'm not saying that streaming is the only hard job. I never when the fuck did I ever go and say that streaming was the hardest job? I just said that there are elements of it that are hard. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's true, really. Now you're wrong. How am I wrong if I know it? What do you mean? How can I possibly be wrong about this? Which is fair. Yeah, and like, it is a mental battle. Yeah, it is very emotionally draining. It definitely can be. So you go and you have this this thing, but here's the truth, though, is that you're not really going to convince somebody who works at a job that they hate that you, who plays video games all day, has a problem that they should care about. They're not going to give a fuck about it because they can't see your perspective. And it doesn't mean that your perspective is wrong. Like, I think that they're the ones that are wrong because they lack empathy. But that doesn't mean that just because somebody is wrong doesn't mean that they're going to change their behavior. It just means that they're wrong. Why don't you take subs anymore? Do you not want money? I'd take subs if I want to. It's not a big deal, man. And if streaming wasn't hard, everyone would do it. Well, yeah, they're not going to see the perspective. If it's draining, you likely aren't an extrovert. Well, I mean, if you are an extrovert, then there's other problems that are there. What about getting pigeonholed into streaming a single game? There's always going to be problems with every job. And that's what I'm saying. So, like, being a genuine entertainer at all is not easy? No, of course it's not. It's not easy. But you just can't ever complain to your audience about how streaming is hard. Like, that's really what it is. Ko mentioned that he finds it fortunate that he started streaming later in life and he's had a stable emotional and personal foundation already that can be shaken by full-time streaming. It can. It's like, why do you think all these streamers have all these mental problems and have all these issues? Well, obviously there's got to be a reason for it. Like, why is it that, this one thing happens to this one group of people all of the time? I bet because it probably is causing it to happen. So it's just common sense. But anyway, the truth is that, like, people are always going to be disappointed. This is one of the things where weird how people could be streamers until I followed Hollow Live. Yeah. It's like Quinn is on the verge of mental breakdown. Everybody always says that. People are chatting coping because my job is worse. No one cares about your job sucks. Doesn't mean other parts of other work can suck. Yeah, see, like, this guy's really kind of got it, right? I mean, like, and this is the problem that a lot of people like to do is, like, whenever you talk about something like this, they like to go and play the oppression Olympics. They're like, oh, well, you had to walk 3 miles to school. Well, I had to do it in the snow. Oh, well, you think you had it bad. Well, I had it worse. That doesn't make it any better. And also, by the way, keep in mind, you have the ability to have access to high-speed internet in probably a first or a second world country. You've got it pretty fucking good compared to a lot of other people that could tell you the exact same goddamn thing. So everybody who has their problems, those problems are real to that person. Now, it doesn't, like, her problems are real for sure. But at the same time, you're just never going to be able to convince people that streaming is a hard job because people don't understand what you need to do in order to be successful as a streamer. And they haven't done it. Like, there's all the time people think that, like, I'll give you a really good example that's, like, a lot different, but it's kind of the same thing. Do you know how you ever hear about how people criticize military spending or government spending because they'll spend, like, $26 on, like, one screw for, like, a military vehicle? Like you hear that like that being used as a method of criticism, like, oh well, you can see that they're wasting our money because they're paying this much for it, right? But what they don't understand, right, and what anybody who knows anything would understand, is that the things that they're using, the screws that they're using, are like reinforced with like 3 different types of material, and they're not like the screws that you go and buy at Home Depot. This is a military grade screw that you could take this into space and it would be fine. And so a lot of people have no idea about that. They have no clue whatsoever. So for them, it's just the military wasting a bunch of money on screws. And so that's an example that I think that you can see how people's ignorance of a topic doesn't necessarily mean that what's happening is wrong. Yeah, denying military spending bloat is shaky at best. I'm not saying that we're spending enough money. We're not spending enough money on military. All I'm saying is that point of reference is a bad point of reference. All I'm saying is that people usually use points of criticism for things that they don't fully understand. And I think that with streaming, it's the same thing. With streaming, people are obviously going to criticize streaming and going to say like, oh, it's super easy. And like, in some cases it is, in some cases it's not. It's literally that simple. But like, you have to understand, and like, this is something that like I try to do as much as I can, and I think it's one of the most healthy things that you can do, which is to completely disconnect yourself from what your streaming presence is. Stop trying to make people understand you. Stop trying to make people, see the real you. Stop trying to put yourself into it and be like recognized for, people thinking that you're special. They're still not the greatest. How much I spend on them. I'm a hello mechanic. This stuff is still pretty shit. Oh, I'm sure it could be better. Absolutely. You're probably right about that. I'm just saying that it's not the same quality as that you get as a civilian. And people that are making a comparison are wrong. Like, we can get into the nuances, and I think that you'd probably be right about a lot of those. But I was just making a general comparison. You can go back and forth, but yeah, sure. When someone tells something that's easy for them, and then everybody wants to jump on the train. I've always watched streamers when I'm on my degen phase of the year gaming for months every time. Yeah. 100% of the screws on a tank are custom made under military specs. There's no punts on a tank that me bought at Home Depot. But yeah, what I'm saying, like, we talk about that, like, I don't want to talk about the screws on a tank anymore. Like, it's fucking annoying. I think you guys get the point. If you don't get the point, what can I say? What I'm trying to get at here is that you're never going to get the stream to see the real you. They're never going to understand your problems. And the worst thing about it is that a lot of them will. A lot of people care. And you can have 90% of people in chat agreeing, but still have people get stressed out because the 10% of people don't. And that's what happens. Let's see what Asmongold is with this. Oh, yeah, sure. People really want to talk semantics. Oh, yeah, everybody always likes to argue something that's not the point. But I think that the more that you view yourself as a product or an entity, the better that you can have a good relationship with streaming and not treat it like it's some form of like expression. I think the process of that is very unhealthy. And everybody's laughing and shitting on her, right? Streamers remember they have to play video games part-time for 10 times their normal salary anyone else their age makes. She should probably stream more. She probably thinks a 40-hour work week is excessive. And so yeah, a lot of people, clicks man irrelevant, don't care. I don't even know who she is, to be honest. Must be trolling.
In my community to stop nagging me about it 24/7. Yeah, this morning I didn't get on at 9. I'm sorry, I got on at 10. Okay? I want them to speak up. That's not their problem. And to be quite frank, it's not yours either.
Everybody,
nagging.
So you can never, you get too emotional about this shit, you're never going to come out of it on top. There's never going to be a point where you will, like, I hope that she understands that there will never be a point where expressing her this way will ever lead to a positive outcome. There will never be a light at the end of the tunnel. People will never understand you. People will never finally see what you're saying. People will never look at it from your perspective. And every moment that you spend trying to hope and convince and pray that people will see it the way that you want them to is a moment that you're going to be unhappy. And it's never going to change. Then why do people write and do public speaking? What's the point of trying to change the world? You don't always want to change the world. You don't need to change the world. You're not going to change the world. You're just streaming a video game. Shut the fuck up. Stop the self-aggrandizement. You can do what you want to do, but you have to acknowledge the futility in it. If you don't, you're living in a delusion. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it. Peace. See ya.